Come on. I really need a video idea to film. No, too hard. Computer's gonna explode. Okay. I think I got it.
I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Yeah! Yeah! And some of these, and some of these. Almost there, and done. Now let's see how it looks so far.
Yeah, but hey guys, Bulls here, and today I'm gonna be rating your PTFS suggestions in the PTC Discord server on a scale of 1 to 10. But with that out of the way, let's get rating. To kick off today's video, the first suggestion is by the Trung, and he says that we should add the Lockheed L1049 Super Constellation as a group access plane. And to be honest, fellas, I 100% should agree, and that's because if you ever watched my previous suggestion videos, you know that I'm a big sucker for vintage commercial planes. But for the L1049 itself, I think there's two reasons why it should be added. Number one is its uniqueness, and Orange is always looking for aircraft that are different from the game. And if you look at the L1049, the tails are different, the fuselage is different, the wings are different, the propeller different, everything distinguishes itself from other aircraft in the game. And that's why the A321 and the 747SP wouldn't be added, but the L1049 will, because there's nothing like it in PTFS. And number two, there's a big gap between 1940 and 1960 for commercial planes, and that is why people are asking for this 1107. There's a lot of people asking for the DCA, but I think the L1049 can fill in the gap very nicely as well. With that being said, and I think this plane would be perfect for group action, I gotta give this L1049 suggestion a pretty solid score of 9 out of 10. The next suggestion is by Swow, and he wants Paro Airport would be a very nice addition. Don't take my word for it, because Paro Airport is widely regarded as one of the world's most dangerous airports, and that's because of its very hard approach. In order to land at Paro, you have to swerve around Himalayan mountains. You not only have to don't crash, but when you're about to land, you gotta land hard because of the short runway and its high altitude. And it being one of the most dangerous airports, I think players, when they're trying to land, they're gonna have so much fun. I think there's so many opportunities for landing challenges, landing competitions, and it would be a great roleplay scenario. So with that, I have to give suggestion just the perfect score. 10 out of 10 here. Anyways, moving on. Next suggestion is by the Kraken, and he says that we should add the functional VTOL V22 Osprey. Now, with the limited introduction of the F-35B in a couple of weeks, I think this can continue to build on the VTOL section of powertrain flight simulator. Not only it's very unique where it acts like a helicopter and the plane at the same time with its retractable wings, but it's another plane that people will 100% use for military roleplays. Now thinking about it, though you may have to make the heliport logic for military bases like Scranton, you know, at least people will use the oil rig. I hope. But I'll go ahead and give the suggestion a pretty cool 9 out of 10 here. Here we go. So the next suggestion is by David3756, and he says that we should have dynamic cockpit lighting. Again, another visual thing that PTFS should add. Things like this really make PTFS come to life. And the light that coming out the windows and skyscrapers, this shouldn't be a really hard ad for Orange and Sam. All you really need to do is just add neon parts which go up, that's when it turns nighttime. And it kind of brightens the mood for first-person players when they gotta look at dim control panels in the cockpit as well. But because of some lag concerns, I'll give a suggestion a 7 out of 10. But it doesn't mean I don't like the suggestion at all. Oliver Dot says that we should add the Britain Norman BN2 Islander that can be able to spawn at Saba, St. Barths, and anywhere else. And though I agree it's perfect for roleplays at Saba and St. Barths, that's really all I can think of why most people would use it. There really isn't a lot of people who would use general aviation planes in PTFS, because they would rather use the big boy jets or fast military planes, or if you're named MrBullsFan, you use the Walrus. But I know people in the community, including y'all in the comments, who really like GA planes and would be welcoming for the BN2 Islander. And I agree with them that there should be more GA planes. I think Orange should 100% be open to adding them. But the narrative would never change that it would be 1 out of 1,000 people would actually use general aviation planes. So as much as I don't want to say it and I really want the BN2 Islander, I have to give the suggestion a 5 out of 10 here. And speaking of Saba and St. Barths, Swow, for the second time in this video, is suggesting an airport, and that is Princess Juliana International Airport. Now, if you haven't watched the video where I successfully predicted Sable earlier this year, I really thought that St. Martin would be added alongside of it because the two would basically be perfect for each other. But they added Tokyo, so I really can't complain. But St. Martin would be a fan favorite among the player base because of Maho Beach, the famous tourist hotspot for tourists to get blasted into the Caribbean Sea or watch KLM 747s approach a nose hair above their heads, and I believe it opens opportunity for PTFS plane spotters. The only criticism I have of St. Martin is that people wouldn't really utilize the plane spotting feature of Maho Beach that much, and that kind of loses its charm, so I will account for that. But Princess Juliana, in my opinion, will get an 8 out of 10 suggestion from me, MrBullsFan. And I know we've been losing steam with ratings for the last few suggestions, but I'm telling you, this next suggestion is F-I-R-E-D. Well, not really the D part, but fire! And anyways, Mig says that we should add the C2 Greyhound because of its iconic folding wings, and because there isn't a plane in the game that is designed to transport cargo to aircraft carriers. And with that in mind, to be honest, it checks the box for uniqueness. First off, the wings, and because of the F-14 Tomcat proving that it can be done, the sweeping wings, the C2 Greyhound wings can certainly be done. There are also, again, no plane like this design-wise, but also use-wise as well, because though you could land a C-130 and call it a day, or the A380, but that's just me, but this one hits different, because it's supposed to be for this purpose. But anyways, we back baby with another 10 out of suggestions, so, woo! Yep, woo is kinda right, but Sunday 203 says that Oren should revamp the map feature in the game and make it act like Flight Radar 24, the popular plane tracking site, so we can see the plane's flight plan and what plane they're flying. There's so many uses I can think of, but the biggest one for me is air traffic control. And I know radars are cool, but sometimes people don't expect a BA A380 when they're really expecting a BA Twin Otter. And even if it's not for ATC, it's also cool for pilots and them tracking their other players. So for all that good stuff, it's a solid suggestion for me. And though it would take some time to implement with flight plans, I'll give Ice Cream Sunday a cool 8 out of 10 here. Oh boy, I'm not gonna say this guy's Discord name, partly because I'll be either demonetized or people will take it out of context and call me MrBullsFan, but this species says to add the Assault Falcon 8X for 60 Robux. So yeah, I think we should have another private jet to PTFS, and the Learjet 45 really just can't cut it solo. The private sector should 100% be added and represented in the game because it's a big feature of aviation in real life, and I don't think one private jet is enough here. The Assault Falcon is also much bigger, and it's much more interesting as well because of its all 3 engine layout, something that's really rare in PTFS. My only issue with this is a Game Pass, and though I would usually say it should be a Game Pass, just because I want it less prevalent and exclusive, I do feel it shouldn't, because it gives players an opportunity to fly a private jet and not be blocked by the Learjet paywall. So with that in mind, I'll give this suggestion a 7 out of 10, and maybe I might deduct more points because I know what people will say in the comments. Yeah, but I think I'll be good here. Next up is Airline roleplay items, and that is a suggestion by Andrew Zhu, and things like food carts, food items, radios, and so much more should be added to Powertrain Flight Simulator. A big aspect for PTFS is RP, and especially for commercial and military off-the-script fun, it's definitely a cool idea and addition. It can be also used in not only roleplay but PTFS movies as well, and I think that'll be a really cool addition for me and other YouTubers. But because I think PTFS Aeron roleplays needs a bit more oomph to it, I think this is the way to go. Maybe it's just me returning to Roblox Airline reviews. Please watch my Skyrim AM158 review, but hey, 9 out of 10 suggestion here. Anyways, Oren, not Orange, says that we should add the B-24 Liberator to the game, and his reasoning is that it's one of the most heavily used bombers during World War II, especially in the European scene, and it's a favorite for those who had grandparents who flew it while in the Army Air Corps. Number one, before we actually get to the suggestion, I really do support our veterans, and you should too, so if you are watching this and know someone who was in the military, please say thanks for their dedication. And if you do know someone, leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear their stories. And I really do mean that. And with my grandpa being a paratrooper who fought in Korea, I strongly believe it. So again, leave it in the comments down below. But moving on, yeah, 100%, maybe 101. I don't even know how it hasn't been added to PTFS yet. And though people who want to use the same reason that I don't want to put the A321 and 747SP for it being too similar, something about this plane, the B-24 Liberator, hits differently. Like, come on, it's one of the biggest aerial achievements during World War II. And off that alone, not only is it 10 out of 10 for me, but it's a must for Orange to add. And to wrap it all up, the last suggestion and final one is by Pause, and he wants a scaled down version of Ohio. I'll give the suggestion a Ohio out of 10. But yeah, fellas, that is basically it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what is your favorite suggestion from today's video. Love to hear your thoughts. But guys, thanks for watching, and as always, take flight. Adios.